Hey guys, welcome back to another video.
Hey, it's me.
Today we're going to be doing all of the books I've read so far in 2025. You will also, just a disclaimer, probably see me in this outfit in quite a few videos coming up because I've filmed quite a few today. Today's video, we're going to be doing all the books I've read in 2025. So far I've read 19 books. I'm currently on my 20th. But yeah, let's go through them and give you all my ratings and everything. These are not books that I have read, these are ones I'm actually getting rid of, which is another video that you will be seeing. I'm going to group authors as well together just to talk about them all at once because I kind of have the same opinion for a lot of the books. Starting off, at the end of last year, I read Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, literally just before the end of 2024. So, for the beginning of 2025, I read both Yours Truly and Just for the Summer. And then when it got released, I read Say You'll Remember Me. I also just discovered this is not in the same series as these ones. I thought they were all in the same series. So Yours Truly, I gave them both 4 stars. I gave these both 4 stars. Yours Truly is Brianna and Jacob's story, and then Just for the Summer is Justin and Emma's. Both very good stories. I feel like we've heard a lot about them. If you're on Book Talk, same type of Book Talk as me. Yours Truly and the Part of Your World trilogy, which is Part of Your World, Yours Truly, and Just for the Summer, they all follow like doctors, nurses, all of that kind of stuff. So Yours Truly follows, I think Brianna's a nurse. Oh no, she's a doctor. I lied. She's a doctor, and so is Jacob. They're both doctors in the same hospital. Start off as enemies. I would say more rivals, but you know, whatever, enemy kind of vibe. And then they become friends. It's a romance, so they kind of move on to lovers. I really enjoyed this book. I feel like it was really good. I can't wait to reread this series, but I have so much on my TBR right now that I can't do that. And then Just for the Summer follows Emma and what's his face? Justin. Emma and Justin. Justin does appear in the past few books. They're all linked. Alexa's best friend was Brianna. So she appears in this one. And then Justin was, I think, Brianna's brother's best friend. And that's how that links. Both 4 stars. Overall, I would say this is a 4-star series. And I would so recommend this to anyone. Anyone trying to get into Abby Jimenez, please start with this. It's so good. Yeah, moving on to Say You'll Remember Me. This one follows Xavier and Samantha. Xavier and Samantha. I gave this one also 4 stars. So on average, she's tracking pretty good. 4 out of the books, out of 4, I've rated 3 4 stars and 1 5 star. But he's a vet in this one, and she is a nurse, I believe. Is she a nurse? No. I can't remember her job. But he's a vet, and she has to go home to help with her mother because she has got dementia. It's really sad because you like really want them to be together, but they have both got really good reasons for not being able to be together. But I'm so glad. Overall, really great author. I love her. She's a immediate buy for me now. I will buy every book she writes and releases as long as I can get to them. I do want to read her backlist as well, but I might just buy them all on my Kindle and just read them. But I read The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. This one I also gave 4 stars. I was in a very summery mood because in New Zealand, January is summer, which is so good. You get Christmas, summer, freaking love it. They're playing a game of Assassin at a wedding, and the main male character and the main female character team up. Without spoiling too much, that's basically the kind of the plot. And yeah, I would so recommend it. I had been wanting to read it for a couple years now, since I started reading in 2022. And I was so glad when I got my Kindle and it was on Kindle Unlimited. Is the lovely Emily Henry. Oh my gosh, Emily Henry. What the heck? Why did no one tell me her books got better? If you don't know, 2 years ago when 3 years ago? 3 years ago now, when I started reading, I read Beach Read by Emily Henry. I went in with really bad expectations, and I went in with the expectation that it was a romance book, like very heavily romance, and since I had just started reading, that's what I was enjoying, and I was very let down by that. So I will give it a second chance now that I know what her writing is. But I read both Happy Place and Funny Story. I've also just recently gotten Great Big Beautiful Life, which I do want to read, but that is not on my immediate TBR right now. But both Happy Place and Funny Story. Happy Place, 5 stars. Girl, this made me give Emily Henry a second chance. I was not going to, but then I was like, I've heard lots of good things about Happy Place. Maybe I'll give her a second chance. Tell me why I read this in 3 days and I ate it up. I was literally working from pretty much the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep, and I still finished this in 3 days. So good. Love this. Freaking ate it up. And then Funny Story, I read a bit more recently. I read this in August. Oh shit. Read this in August. This one I gave 4 stars. So still pretty good considering I didn't really like her writing. Well, I didn't know I liked her writing until I read these 2. But yeah, I loved this. It was so good. I suck at describing plots, if you couldn't tell from the fact I keep forgetting to do that. But yeah, these are so good based on my feelings. I don't know. I started off as an Emily Henry. I just didn't get it, but now I get it. I'm gonna go through her backlist as well and read You and Me on Vacation and Book Lovers, but also her newest release, which is Great Big Beautiful Life. Back, taking a whole turn from my romances from the beginning of the year, we have the one and only Onyx Storm. And let me just say, this was so good. I was on holiday. This book released when I went on holiday, and my mum has multiple photos of me. Instead of going out to the pool or going outside and enjoying the sun during summer, I was reading this. I spent most of the time in our apartment just reading this book. It was so good. It's hard. I can't tell if this or Fourth Wing is my favorite in the series, but let me just say they're very close. I'm also currently lending out Iron Flame, and I did start my reread of Fourth Wing, and then I realized I have too many books on my TBR, and that should not be my priority. This put me in a slump afterwards because it was so good. I was in a book hangover, which is why I started reading Fourth Wing, and then I was like, girl, you need to be more productive. But so good. I gave this 5 stars. She was good. She was hefty. Almost broke my hand reading this because she's like almost a brick, but we love her. It's When in Rome by Sarah Adams. I wanted to read a Sarah Adams book for so long, and then I heard all really good things about this series, and so I was like, well, here we go. I gave this one 3 stars though. I think it was because I read Onyx Storm just before this, so I was in a little bit of a hangover, and so any book just wasn't living up to the expectation that I wanted it to. So it wasn't fair, but I do still want to continue the series. It was still really good. 3 stars, probably deserved a 4, but because I was in my hangover, we got what we got. And this is a 4-book series following the 4 siblings. This one starts with the brother, and then all the other ones follow the 3 sisters that he has. I read Consider Me by Becca Mack. This was on my Kindle. Of course it was. But yeah, I read this on my Kindle. This one follows Carter and Olivia. I love this book so much. I gave it a 4 star. Seeing the average ratings compared to my ratings is freaking crazy. But yeah, I gave this 4 stars. I really loved it. I really loved reading it on my Kindle. I will continue to read the rest of the series on my Kindle. But I didn't read this one on my Kindle, and to say my hand hurt, it's an understatement. Getting a Kindle is actually really bad when you used to read thick books and you used to not complain. And now I complain anytime I pick up a book that's literally this big. But anyway, I gave Consider Me 4 stars, and I gave Play With Me also 4 stars. So far the series is going on a good track. Can't complain. Play With Me follows Garrett, who is Carter's best friend, and Jenny, who is Carter's sister. So yeah, brother's best friend trope. Unravel Me is the next book in the series, and it is on my TBR to finish by the end of the year. Up here. Yeah. Where is she? I knew I was missing one book. We have Wild Side by Elsie Silver, which is the 3rd book in the Rose Hill series. This one is my least favorite out of the series, but it was still a 4-star read. It follows Reese, who is a wrestler, and Tabitha, who is a chef, and they both really want custody of Tabitha's nephew, Milo. Reese had a relationship, well, not a relationship, like a friendship with Tabitha's sister Erica, who passed away. So her son, she gave custody to Reese, but Tabitha really wants custody because she thought she was getting custody, and she's basically helped raise Milo. But they're figuring that out. Overall, Rosehill is my favorite series by Elsie Silver so far. And yeah, I would so recommend her books to everyone, and I would recommend everyone because honestly, even if I hate it, it's still really good. Oh shit, she was loved. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. Yeah, I had heard a lot of things about this, and then me and my mum were in the bookstore. Me and my mum both read, and she was like, oh, I've heard lots about this book. It sounds a lot like something you would like. And so that was enough for me to buy it. And then I read it, and I clearly really enjoyed it because there's copy stains on it. But yeah, this one follows two sisters. They're both on two different sides of like the war. Like one just wants to stay safe, just not create problems, and the other's just like, no, I want to help everyone survive, and like kind of is in the rebellion side of it. It's really interesting, and I would so recommend it. I gave it 4 stars. It spans over 4 years, and sometimes, in my opinion, I could feel that it was in 4 years. Like I could feel it, and then like sometimes I could feel that we were in like a week, and then sometimes it felt like we had like boomed, like, you know, I don't know if that made sense. I actually recommended it to my nana, and she read it and she loved it. So moving on, which is one of my favorite books of the year, my favorite series conclusion, Fearless. I mean, technically it's not concluded because there is Fearful, but Fearless, obviously a 5-star from that reaction. This is the final book in the Powerless trilogy, and after the way, like honestly, I have loved every single book in this series. Even Reckless, when everyone was like, that's a filler book, I loved that shit. I ate it up. So when the ending of Reckless ended the way it did, I was so excited for this. And it lived up to my expectations. So, yup, it actually exceeded my expectation. Another series that I started, which is another one I have to finish, and that is the Hunger Games series. Technically though, I did finish the series. There's just prequels that I also have to read. So, rapid fire, Hunger Games, because I feel like we all know the plot of the Hunger Games. But anyway, Hunger Games, I gave this one, where am I looking? Hunger Games, 4 stars. Super good. Catching Fire, also 4 stars. And then Mockingjay, I gave 3 stars. And as toxic as this may sound, I think I prefer when they're in the games than just living life. Even though they technically made the, like, it's just not the same. But like, I just like when there's just a little bit more action going on. And this, honestly, even the movies, Mockingjay is not my fave. I don't know what that says about me, but it says something. Read Crimson Moth, by Kristen Cicerelli. I read this on my Kindle. She's another 5-star. Honestly, I just know what I like, and I pick up books that I like based on how they sound from other people. And this was so good. There's basically a witch rebellion, and witches were executed, and so they all the remaining ones are in hiding. And Rune, the main character, she is the Crimson Moth, and basically she is trying to protect all these witches because she is also one herself, but she is trying to protect all the witches from the leaders of the world that they're in, and help them escape so they don't get, but it's so good. I can't wait to read Rebel Witch, especially with the way this ended. I finally read this book, and that is Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. This was a 5-star read, which is funny because I read Binding 13 last year, and then I read this one a couple weeks later, and I DNF'd it. which is super funny. But this is, if you watch my video that comes out soon, which is all the books I'm getting rid of, I read Legendary, which put me into a slump, and then I read this. So no wonder I DNF'd it, because I read this and I ate it up, and I can't wait to read Saving Six. But I'm gonna wait till I read a few of my other books that I'm currently in the middle of, and series and all of that, and then I'm gonna read this when I go overseas, so I can have a big chunky book. Yeah. And finally, I feel like people aren't gonna trust my ratings, but like these are genuinely my feelings, because this is also a 5-star read, and that is Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. This is the most recent book I've read. But also Holly Jackson is like kind of an auto-buy author for me. I love pretty much all of her books. They're right here. I have special editions, like, come on. But like, I'm pretty honest with my ratings with her because I love her so much. Good Girl's Guide to Murder. The series is a 5-star, but all the books aren't 5 stars. 5 Survive. I did not like that book. It's a 3-star. And The Reappearance was 4 stars. So, like, I'm being honest, I did love this book so much. I just love the plot of it, like solving your own murder, like that's crazy. The ending was really sad. Thinking about the story, like I love mysteries and Holly Jackson's series because she has every little detail planned from the beginning. And so like when you think back on it, you're like, oh my gosh, that was so obvious. Why did I not get that at the time? Really loved this book. I can't wait for her next one. I don't know when it's going to be because obviously this just released. That is all the books I've read so far in 2025. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I will see you guys all in another video coming up soon.